My name's Sam Taylor, and I'm here with Tim McCourt, and we're talking to Shynola, who are music videos directors and people who we've had the pleasure of being able to work with over the last couple of months. And I had to pinch myself a couple of times because
you were falling asleep.
but yeah, I was a big fan of you guys at school, and you were my sort of big heroes and stuff like that.
Oh, that makes us feel old.
Yeah. At school.
Not at school,
kindergarten.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like, we're not being like overly sort of humble. Like, we meet quite a few people who say, "Oh, you were a big influence when I was at college." But when we were doing those films or music videos, you were seeing that you were thinking were cool.
Yeah.
We had no concept that you were watching them or that anyone was watching them. We were making them from our bedrooms, and we just couldn't believe our luck. And the idea that we were influencing anyone was just nonsensical.
So it's not just stealing stuff from other people, really.
Yeah, we just thought we were getting away with it, and then the idea that people were looking at it.
But yeah, especially before the internet, stuff would just get sent off on a tape to MTV. We didn't have MTV. We'd never know whether anyone saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's only junior, senior, like cropped up in Topshop and stuff like that. But other than that, it just all went into the void.
That was a big deal, I thought, because then my auntie said she'd been into Topshop. And on the big video, they were playing the junior, senior, and she said she went in and she saw it, and I thought, wow, that one's being seen by the public.
But that was a massive song as well, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like, you did tend to do songs that, like, even if you didn't know the video, you kind of knew the song,
So that was fluke most of the time.
We were very lucky, and we were getting so much work at the time that we could pick the good songs, the songs that we liked, if you know what I mean.
But then that's kind of, interesting that you still managed to pick out the ones that you thought would end up being.
There's a few probably that you don't know about that have fallen to the cracks.
And I think I was actually looking back at a few things that you guys did that I'd never even seen. There was tons of stuff.
How many music videos have you done?
Not that many. It's depressingly few. It's only about 20.
Yeah,
at the most.
I always think 20 is a lot.
Yeah,
about 10 years.
I think that's a rare thing now, because I think most people who are doing videos now kind of see it as a stepping stone into kind of maybe trying to get into commercials, and might only do like.
Well, the reason that's come about is because the budgets are shit beyond repair, and when we were doing it in our heyday, if you want to call it that, we could actually, that was enough to pay our rent.
Yeah,
we
could
live off
living out of them in those days.
But now, what's happened now is that there's so many small bands having music videos, so they can have small budgets. Plus, the bigger bands have smaller budgets.
Yeah.
You constantly see directors who just come in and do one video.
Yeah.
Make a bit of a splash and move on to an actual money-earning job. And there's very few people who have a long career in music videos. There's people doing it, but someone like David Wilson is really rare.
Yeah.
Someone who's so committed to becoming so poor that he carries on. But I mean, I guess like everyone, you supplement music videos with adverts. That's the only way to pay the rent, really.
You guys do a lot more like live action stuff now, don't you? And you're kind of working towards making a feature film. Done a short recently, and a few other non-music video based projects. Are you moving away from music videos?
By necessity, because there's no budgets in music videos. Occasionally one will come along where we can afford to do it. But even we got one for How to Destroy Angels, Trent Reznor's.
Yeah.
One of Trent Reznor's side projects, and it had a great budget, However, we never made any money out of it. All the money went on the shoot, and
it had a healthy budget, and then we could actually shoot. It didn't limit our idea too much.
Yeah.
Or you weren't.
Was it great in comparison to the old budgets you used to work with, or just in this
great in relative terms to
this climate?
And today,
Yeah, back in those days, we would have thought a low budget was 50 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's a big budget now.
That's massive now. I mean,
and people were telling us, back in my day, the budget was huge.
I think all those sort of crazy, the Missy Elliott ones, and they were just gigantic.
So, it's amazing, because I mean, what had you guys done before your first video?
First music video?
Yeah.
Well, our first music video wasn't really our first ever job. per se. We always sort of say the first thing we did was UNKLE, but it wasn't, was it? We did those title sequences.
We did a few little stings for MTV.
Right.
No, for oh yeah, we did that. But Jesus,
That was like
I was thinking that
that's
worksheet program.
that came even before it. But I was still working at Digital Arts then,
Right.
and it was the MTV stings, which had a budget of about $2,000, that I quit my day job for.
Wow.
My parents later told me that they were really worried that I was throwing away my life.
Well, what was digital?
10 years later, still worried.
Yeah, Digital Arts was just a crummy. I don't even know what to call them. Post-production. They were post-production when I joined them.
CGI.
Yeah, they did fairly generic kids TV stuff when I started, and then it got taken over.
Really, but it was pretty sort of, we sort of talk badly about it. But if you think about the time, it was all Silicon graphics machines. It was before sort of it all exploded. CGI became affordable. It was when it was like still there can't be that many post-production.
Well, I think that was.
Well, it had actually been going a long, long time as well. It was there since like the 80s, doing flying logo shit. But
Wow.
yeah, they went into the ground. I remember because they had all these SGIs, and one day I took in a PC that I'd built at home with Lightwave on it, which they used, and rendered a scene faster than their $10,000 computers.
Really?
You could just see it in their eyes.
Well, we were really fortunate that when we started, that was coincided with that becoming a possibility.
Yeah.
And all the computers that we had. When we first started, we had one computer that we shared,
Yeah.
and then
I think we spent all the money on that advert we're talking about with the
MTV,
no, the previous to
like
that.
the dope sheet thing.
Yeah, on a hard drive, basically.
Yeah. That's how every job that we got at the start with, it would pay for a scanner.
Right.
We bought a scanner out of one job. And then at some point we earned enough money where we all bought computers, and I remember having a Tesco computer.
Yeah. But I remember,
Tesco?
yeah.
Tesco made a computer, and then we
500
just souped
quid,
it
they
up
were
with extra
suddenly
RAM.
selling 500 megahertz Pentiums.
So we were doing this advert for Orange, and we were doing it from our bedrooms on a fucking PC.
And it was an
Tesco.
advert?
Yeah, going on TV because you could do it, and we were like, why not?
Yeah.
And I think a few people, a lot of people, it took a lot longer for them to sort of wise up to that you could do it.
And was you still getting the kind of budget that a post house would be getting for?
Sorry.
It's alright. Was you still getting the budget a post house would be getting, or was you sort of?
Yeah, that's why we raked it in.
Right.
Early on, we would do. It was crazy. We got away with murder because we would say, "Here's the budget," and it would just say what the total was, and
Right.
we didn't even say where the money was going.
Yeah.
But all you had to do was render something 720 pixels by 576.
Yeah.
It's done. It's ready to go on TV. It was why not do it that way?
Yeah.
And then just all the money comes to us. Thank you very much.
It did seem a bit like a racket. We were getting money for machine time, we were getting money for design and for directing, but we actually were doing all those things.
Yeah.
It's not
The thing is that you're saying, you get that budget, would you? Well, if we didn't do the job and you did it the legitimate way, if you want to call it that money would be spent.
Yeah.
So if you end up with all that matters is the finished product. And if we turn in a finished product that's really good, then it was money well spent, right?
Yeah.
These days, though, we're constantly having to justify and make up shit for where the money's going. We're still having to lie,
Yeah.
but even now to sort of
No,
make money out of it.
I was talking to someone about that the other day, where I think we was applying for a short film or something, and there was laughable amount of money, but they wanted you to give them a budget
Right.
of how you were going to spend it, and it's like, if you was going to do the budget properly, it would go in the first 2 days. So what's the relevance of giving you this big breakdown of how you're going to spend their no money?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the list of favours I'm going to put.
It's a bit like being in the Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
Where if you say at any point some of the money's going to go in your pocket, they're like, well, fuck off. I'm not investing in this.
Yeah.
So you guys went to uni together, did you?
Yeah, wasn't really a uni though. It was an art college.
Art college, yeah.
Just an art college.
It's now been pulled down.
Which one?
The Kent Institute of Art and Design
Okay.
was.
I think Tracy Hemming went there, but to the Rochester one, was that the Canterbury one before us?
Don't know.
And that was it. I think that was the alumni.
I remember watching an interview when I was in university with you guys where you said that you sent off a letter to Radiohead or something, or you sent a video off, or you asked to do a video for Radiohead at that.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when that occurred, but I remember basically finding the address of the management company and just writing for the attention of the commissioner. And just sent them, just like, why not? You know, give it a go.
Has she ever got that?
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Because
then later we met
to
her.
know her.
Oh right.
We did actually get to know her. And she asked us to do a video for this guy called Morgan, a really talented musician. I don't know what happened to him. He sort of
He
disappeared.
was out of some other band, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah.
And then he did a solo record.
Someone was talking about it on the other day on Twitter.
Really?
Because they were saying, oh, well, you know, if you look at the single, it was like remixed by Chemical Brothers and something else insane, like Daft Punk, and like just all these things that have gone on to be amazing, but at the time were in the infancy. Anyway, we did this video, but we did it, if we're honest, so that we might have a chance of getting the Radiohead gig.
Oh, so you did a music video for Radiohead, or you just did a music video and then you said
We did this music
It was
video for Morgan.
this band Morgan was looked after by Radiohead's
right.
commissioner.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, on the one hand, we just wanted work.
Yeah.
We hadn't done much, so we wanted to do it anyway. But on the other hand, it was added a sweetener that it was Radiohead's commissioner, and if we did a good job, then you know.
But she was also Supergrass's.
Oh yeah, but that
commissioner, and we were
and
big
then-
fans of
Did
them.
you ask beforehand at all, or you just did it and then
Did what?
The Morgan video.
Yeah.
No, we were commissioned to
I
do
think,
it.
I think we were
We just
already
made
repped by Oil Factory.
Yeah, we were paid, and it was.
So, but you sent a letter.
I think in fairness.
None of this came from the letter.
Yeah, just coincidentally while we were doing the job, I said, I once wrote you a letter, and she said,
right.
yeah, I got that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It was a bit like writing to Santa.
No, but you did also write the letter to James Lavelle, which was basically the thing that got us our first work.
Was that
First
the Uncle video?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did an Uncle kind of an instrumental thing
Mm.
for what was it? What was that song?
Guns Blazing.
Guns Blazing, guys.
That was massive.
He
like-
commissioned it in
yeah.
lieu of an acceptance speech that he just sort of showed it instead of going on stage and saying thank you.
Enemy Awards, it was.
That's right. Enemy
But yeah, that was just a real lucky break, but also, you know, I think it was a good fit. You
Yeah.
know, that, we were fans of DJ Shadow and everything really that Mo Wax put out. Keep Up On Your Mark, it was all that sort of stuff around that time. DJ Crush and then I read about this thing, I think in like the Face magazine or something, that they were doing this super project, and I kind of thought, and then the way they were representing the band was with all these Futura drawings.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yeah, they're never going to get Tom York in the video, you know, they're never going to get all these, they're never going to put it together, they're never going to put it together as a live show, because it's too insane. It was Richard Ashcroft and Ian Brown. And so I thought, well, I wonder if you could do an animated video in the style of Futura, and if that's the way they want to present themselves. And we could easily do that.
Was that the long
Gorillaz?
extruded head?
Yeah, it's like there's a weird sort of alien things.
Was that kind of before Gorillaz?
Oh yeah, long way before.
Oh, wicked.
But it wasn't that similar to Gorillaz, really.
No, but I mean,
It's
conceptually,
animated.
it's kind of like
Yeah,
you're providing an animation.
Yeah, but
version
they just didn't take it that far. That they didn't go on stage dressed up and or silhouetted or anything. Whereas Gorillaz did. I remember the Gorillaz thing because it's funny. Like it used to go for a while. People would say to you, "Oh, what do you do then?" And you say, "Oh, I do animation." And you go, "Oh, like Wallace and Gromit," and you go, "Yeah." So it just shuts you up. And then it became, what do you do? And you say, you make animation or make music videos. And say, oh, like the Gorillaz. And
We've
just
been
like, no.
credited with doing the Gorillaz a few times.
Yeah. But the weirdest thing I ever saw about that, we went to a gig. I don't know how we ended up there. It was at Fabric, and Gorillaz were playing. I don't know why we ended up there.
I seem to remember
Because
that.
under no circumstances would I normally go to Fabric. And we went into this sort of second room, and they were projecting loops of animation, poor loops that didn't withstand
Right.
too much repetition on this screen. And everyone in this room
Wasn't the
was like dancing and looking up at the screen
Yeah.
like it was God. And I was just like,
Because
this
they
is
were all
fucking
off their
weird.
heads.
Well, it was. But I just thought, this is so fucking weird. People are dancing to poor animation loops. It's like, it was like the future of Tumblr right there in the
I
middle.
suddenly realised we overthink a lot of things.
Yeah.
I remember watching a lot of music videos when I was at secondary school. I just like turn on the TV and like just watch for like 4 hours or something.
When you watch
Like
them,
an
what
idiot
channel?
just on MTV. Yeah,
Right.
just turn MTV.
They're amazing, and we're, you know, on the one hand, I don't think we want to be doing them for the rest of our lives, but on the other hand, it's probably about the best gig you can get if you've got a decent budget too, because it's been given so much freedom. And every job
And
is an
also,
experiment, and it's fun, and it's
If
fast.
you do anything with the band and they're a band you love, you know, we hung out with Radiohead and Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, I was
You
going to
know?
say, like, you've worked with like probably all of the coolest bands from like the early 2000s, you know, like late 90s.
No, we never did anything for Cooler Shaker though.
Yeah.
Not the Spice Girls.
Still a chance.
But no, yeah, like Radiohead and UNKLE and
Yeah,
Blur.
you quickly realise they're
Queens of
just
the Stone
people.
Age.
You know, they're amazing people, amazingly talented, but they're people.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah.
It takes
On
the
the
gloss off
day
for
of
a
the
while.
music, on the
Yeah.
day of a music video shoot, it can be quite pedestrian and kind of puncture an image you have of them. But then thinking back to it, I got some very fond memories.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
totally
they're like-
brilliant, and they're always nice people.
Yeah.
But you sort of then, when you're doing the post and you're sitting, rotoring around fucking Josh Homme's head, you sort of think, well, I'm just in this bed sit trying to make Josh Homme look cool.
Yeah.
When people watch it, they'll just think he's cool. They won't think good bit of roto. and you're in this weird position where you're.
Yeah, it's kind of like a really unglamorous. It sounds really glamorous. Like, oh, I'm a music video director, but when actually you're doing the dog's body work.
Yeah, it's funny, and like you sort of. I remember
It's a
reading
little bit
about.
glamorous. It's more glamorous than being an advert, right?
Well, yeah, more lucrative. So.
whatever you do gets connected with this nice soundtrack.
But I remember
It's
reading
way
about Spike Jones hanging out with Beast Boys, and
Yeah.
and you know, I'm sure he was friends with them, but you've only got to have an association, and suddenly everyone thinks that you're best mates with them.
Yeah,
Like, we haven't seen Beck since we made his video.
yeah, but still.
But you know, but people think, oh, you hung out with Beck. You know, he's sort of,
Yeah.
you're as cool as Beck.
So, but you've positioned yourself, not positioned, but you've worked with or collaborated with all these big artists. Like, what is there any of the bands that you were asked to kind of pitch for that you was just like no, or
Oh, plenty.
Yeah, loads. I mean,
was it just because they were naff, or
Yeah.
well, it's a funny situation because you get sent a track and you can say no way, but it's not like they're not actually desperate for you to do it. It's
No.
just to say no way to the chance to pitch.
yeah,
So I can say that
You might be
know,
saying no way along with 15 other directors.
Yeah.
we've been sent plenty of tracks. Metallica, who I love, but
Yeah.
we heard it and they're long past the best. And
Yeah.
we just said no way. But it's no skin off their nose. It's not like we've turned them down.
Yeah, they don't even know who we
No,
are.
they couldn't give two
Turn down
shits.
the commissioner.
Yeah.
Have you ever turned down anything that went on to be like a massive success?
Yes, we turned down
Lily Allen's first single. I thought it was
That's
laughable, and then
number one for ages.
we
We also turned down Franz Ferdinand.
oh yeah, Take Me Out. We turned
And
down.
loads of people think we did that video anyway.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
We kind of knew the guys at the label as well, didn't we? That one.
Well, yeah, so
Was that
the
yourself?
thing was, they sent us an EP. Franz Ferdinand had this little known EP that came out. And it was absolute killer.
It
And
was
we played it in the
dynamite.
office all the time. They just, we were on the mailing list for ages, they used to send us CDs. And it was fucking brilliant. And we were like, wow, this is an amazing band. And then they said, oh, do you want to make a video? Here's the song. And when we heard it, it was like, it was Take Me Out, but it didn't sound anywhere near as good.
The
to our
stuff
ears.
before was
Right.
much heavier, much more rocking, and then that
Right.
sounded like what's happened to them? But
Yeah.
obviously, it's one of the catchiest pop songs.
So yeah, I regret that we didn't do that. It's a bit embarrassing. But then we've also,
Well, again, you don't know. We were asked to do more Radiohead singles after we did Pyramid Song, and off the same album, and we said no. We can't think of anything.
I think we were scared that because we thought we did a pretty good job, that you should just quit while you're ahead. I think was our sort of thinking at the time. Like the next one, if you make a one as good or better, great.
Yeah.
But if you make one that's shit, you've tarnished the first one.
Okay.
And so it's just like, let's just do something different.
Do you still kind of believe that kind of philosophy?
We don't generally get asked to.
We don't sort of do it at the same rate as we did.
No.
We left the music video business for a while, and it's never really embraced us again.
But it's just a totally different. It's a different landscape now.
There's no more Chris Cunningham, there's no more Gondry's, there's no more Spike Jones. It's a different.
But that was. I mean, those guys sort of made their names at sort of exactly the same time.
Yeah, I would definitely like.
Well, no, they were just slightly ahead of us always because we were reading about them when we were at college.
I remember being a runner and watching Come to Daddy and just like fantasising about the chance to even do Roadhound.
Oh right, because those guys, you lot were all in the same sort of category.
Well, yeah, no, we were more at the tail end of it, to be honest. Because I remember sitting, I went to the Royal College to study animation. I remember sitting in the library reading Shots magazine and reading about the latest Chemical Brothers video or whatever, and sort of thinking, I wonder if this is a job.
Yeah.
That was sent. I thought, well, this seems really cool. I remember thinking that. So that stuff was already sort of in existence.
So when did so you guys all studied together in Kent, and then you went off to the Royal College of Art?
Me and Jason went to the
Oh, really?
It turned me down.
Really?
Did they really?
Yeah.
You applied?
They're not daft. They're like
Everybody's got
dogs, they can
standards.
smell it.
Yeah. I'm not bitter.
So what did you do?
But to be honest,
And as it turns out, for our career, it was a far better thing to do because I went and got a job in a studio and learned how to use Maya. And we've built on that ever since.
And I totally abused Chris's talent to make my films. And the sort of seeds of Shynola were really being sown then. It was all hands on deck just to help me graduate.
Is that on the Littlest Robot?
Yeah. And
so you guys all kind of worked on that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was that you too, Jason?
I was doing my first year when you were doing your second
Yeah,
year,
Jason
but
didn't
I
really do anything.
No.
Not so much in that. But
And also, I didn't animate at
we-
that time.
I just don't think you were even interested in
I
it.
didn't work. No.
And then what happened was the sort of company took off. And then
What should I know that?
Shynola and Jason, because we all lived together, it was no question that he wouldn't be in it. But then Jason turned out to be a really good animator without even having fucking done any student films or anything. You could just animate straight away.
I think when we first started, it was mostly sort of moving illustration. Well, on my part anyway.
Well, yeah, we mentioned this before, is that we don't really consider ourselves to be competent animators. It's always...
Well, I'd say we're competent.
Huh?
I'd say we're competent.
Competent, yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
ourselves
I
as-
think you've definitely earned that. To be honest.
But I think we make more interesting videos and have more interesting ideas than we are skilled technicians.
Yeah, well,
We're always
working with
disguised.
you two has certainly showed us what real animators can do, and the gap between us and you.
Well, because I mentioned that to you, like we would normally, if we were animating it, you'd think, okay, should we do this thing with a ship in a storm? And you think, no fucking way, who's going to animate that?
Yeah.
Maybe Chris could maybe do it? No.
But things we'd always shy away from are like water or anything that had more than one character.
Or we'd
Or
find a way to
lip sync.
stylize it,
Yeah.
or get around the problem.
If we ever did lip sync, we did a video for Athlete that kind of got shelved, but instead of animating it, we painted Kenny's lips green, and he sung the song, kind of lip sync mine along to it, and then we just keyed them out and put it onto the
do you know what? I
character's
think
texture.
that is what
Yeah.
kind of, I suppose, became like a signature for you, or kind of.
Well, that's the thing, so you do it that way, and everyone's like, wow, that's another way. Yes,
Yeah.
I've not seen that before. It's just like...
We're sitting there going, really? Okay, cool.
Even the Queens of the Stone Age music video, I was watching it like about an hour ago, and I was like, how have they done that?
No. I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
That was one thing I wanted to ask you. How did you do that? Did you just
That one specifically?
Yeah, the bit on the back of the truck and stuff. Did you just?
Well, half of it is actually then on a black painted truck that's stationary,
Yeah.
And then we moved the camera around.
We made the camera whiz past them.
And we did have.
And you moved, and we made the landscape move past the vehicle. But then for some of the more crazier moves, we built a CGI replica of which was really easy to render because it's just matte black with some bits of white paint.
Highlights.
And Chris sort of rigged some approximations of them to go in the back, so you get them in the longer shots.
Yeah.
And because of the style of it, you could go.
But even the style of it, them all being black and all the highlights of the white, is that
You have
just
to paint them or something.
Yeah, we painted them head to toe black paint.
really?
Yeah.
We sent about, I don't know, half a dozen or a dozen treatments for that video, and it was one of those ones where they kept coming back and going, no, that's not it, but we want you to do it. So just keep sending us ideas until we find the right thing.
Well, this was coming straight from Queen's
Straight
Street.
from Josh Homme, and
Really?
eventually we came up with that one. He's like, that's it. And then we met
Paint me
him,
black.
and yeah, well, he said, we had
It's
like
true.
absolute. At that time, it was the
Can I have
best lineup of Queens of the Stone Age, and there was Mark Lanigan in the band, and Josh said that he only wanted to do it because he knew painting Mark Lanigan black would piss him off.
And it really did.
It really did.
Really? Yeah. He
He's
was
a
such
very
a
intimidating man.
Right.
He was. When I spoke to him recently about that other thing that never happened, we were talking about that again, and he goes, "He's such a moody git, Mark Lanigan. He's good." He did a really funny impersonation of him. I can't remember what he said. He said something like, he wakes up in the morning and sits down to have breakfast. And he goes, cereal. And that's what it was like. Thank you.
But it's kind of like
But to be honest, that video and Pyramid Song for Radiohead are the videos I'm most proud of us doing,
yeah.
because I can't believe we did them. I can't believe we had the balls to try and do that because we didn't know what we were doing
No.
at all. And we kind of thought, well, maybe if we paint it black and move the landscape past the truck, that'll work.
Yeah,
And then you're on this set, and it's a fucking black truck, and Mark Lanigan's been painted black, and this better fucking work.
And we turned up on the set, and the first AD came to us and said, "Okay, which shots are you going to drop?" Like, none of them.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, it's definitely like stood up. I was in a queue to watch Prince the other day, and I was
Look at this.
and the guy behind.
I was at the Bastards, I was at Prince.
Did you get
Yeah, I got in, but the guy behind me
Twice.
was the director.
2 nights in a row.
Yeah, there was guy
Why are
behind.
Prince's fans so fanatical?
Because he's like, he doesn't play, he's like...
I could spend the next
It's
hour
still
talking about
cocktease.
why Prince is so rad. But I'm not going to. But
Well, it's an hour later.
and we're not convinced. Yeah, the guy behind me was a director, and we just got talking, and I said, I just work with Shynola. And he was like, oh my god, they're Queens of the Stone Age like music video. And was just
Really?
going on about that. Yeah.
It just always surprises us. We don't really expect anyone knows us or our work.
Yeah. Well,
you just sort of live in a bubble when you're making it, you don't know.
I suppose coming from the era you did when you were saying kind of there wasn't the YouTube and the Vimeo, you couldn't kind of measure it in hits or whatever. I suppose it's kind of understandable. But now, surely,
you can see like a million hits on whatever Coldplay video, but
Yeah.
we always attribute it just to the band.
People-
The fans of the
but
band.
also-
not really
But
to
they
Yeah.
start it, and they rig it as well.
yeah.
They rig it.
Rig what?
Hits.
Really?
YouTube. Yeah, it's common knowledge, and a few people have had their knuckles wrapped about it. A music label will pay to add 1 million hits to the hit count to make the song look popular, because
How
then
do
it
they-
appears in all the...
But how do they get the hits?
But no, it's fake. You just add 1 million to the counter.
What? On
They're playing
YouTube?
Yeah,
Playing YouTube?
of course.
Wow.
This is such an obvious tactic. Wow, that's had 1 million hits, I'll click on that.
Yeah.
But also, now that the internet is here, we do look at our videos, and the clicks are like nothing compared to the blandest videos out there. So it's like, what's the point?
It's entirely based, and you can see it reflected in like the music MTV Music Video Awards. It's not about the MTV Music Video Awards. It's not about music videos at all. It's about what is the most popular song that year.
Yeah.
And equally, the most popular song or the most popular band, or I'm not going to name names, but the music video that's got the most amount of tits in it gets the biggest number of hits. It's that sells. Making some obscure music arty-farty thing for some band that most people have never heard of will get you no hits.
It's funny, I always, when you see those kind of awards and whatever wins, and then the artist goes up to collect the award for like the best music video.
Yeah, of course, and they don't even thank that. It's not about that. But then also, you can't be making. That's such an unhealthy thing to do, to sort of think I'll only make a music video if I'm gonna get loads of hits.
Yeah,
that's not why we got into it, because YouTube didn't even exist, but because you can look at comments on your own videos and look at the counter, it's really seductive. But it's just playing into your ego, and it really doesn't matter.
Sometimes it doesn't play into your ego.
Like
the teacher's one we were talking about. I looked at a comment the other day, and much like you were just saying, somebody said, "Oh, I used to love this when I was a kid."
What happened when you tried to play it to Rex? Was it you playing to Rex?
I can't remember what.
Did he say? He got like
Rex his son.
I think it was Eden, wasn't it? Asked you to stop it.
Oh yeah, my son asked me to stop it halfway through because it was boring.
He said, "Not Spider-Man."
Yeah.
The most accessible video you try to play to a child right now.
Look, son, this is what I do for a job. It's boring.
Did he walk over to the TV and start trying to like swipe it, swipe it to the next channel?
That does happen.
I remember looking on your website ages ago when I was at uni, and I wanted to do an internship somewhere, and you guys said that you didn't offer internships.
Did we say that to you?
Not to me. It was on the website.
I remember putting it on the website because we were always being asked.
Yeah, well, we've done exactly the same thing now, actually, strangely, but it's. But then I remember reading an interview with David O'Reilly like a few years later, and he said that he'd come and work with you guys.
He was the one and only.
It wasn't an internship though. We were paying him.
Oh right.
Because he sent us. He's quite only 19
right.
or 18. I can't remember, but he just sent us his student films.
He wrote us a letter from school.
Yeah, and they were so good.
He wasn't actually asking for a job.
No,
we asked him to work for us.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was different because he was basically saying, "Oh, my teachers don't get what I'm doing, and I'm not really liking it here. Would I have a chance in the industry?" Sort of question. And we looked at his work and we were like, "Fucking hell, it was so much better than anything you were doing at his age."
Was it 3D stuff?
Yeah, it was doing flash
animation of a little stick character, but it was so charming and so nicely animated.
And he had that beautiful thing of
the serial entoptics.
Yeah, and it was just so captivating. It had this thing where was just someone looking at the sky.
Well, it was a POV of the sky.
Yeah, and then a blink, and you could see, when you see those little motes in your eye just drifting down, and he animated it perfectly. Wow. It was just this thing's coming down and going up again and coming down.
So our answer to it was like, thing to do. Of course.
Yeah.
You could get a job tomorrow animating, no problem. And then he's if you've met him, he's crazy.
I met him really briefly.
He's crazy in the best possible way, just so full of beans. And he did this thing, and I can't remember what it's called, polyphasic sleeping. Is that right? Where you basically, it's kind of what they do in the army, and we've done it on jobs to meet deadlines.
So
where you sleep for 20 minutes. And he did that for a couple of months and basically didn't go into college and made a showreel work in 3 months or something. And then he got a job. Did he start working at Studio AKA or something like that?
He did, yeah.
And then
he was doing exactly what you did, working at Studio AK in the day and working with us in the evening.
Yeah, that's right.
And we just started working on The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And so we basically employed him to help us do that.
So he animated quite a lot on that.
On The Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yeah, he did.
That was quite different.
He did the book that was tap dancing down the stairs.
Which he never used Maya. He never used Maya and hadn't really had a professional.
That's right, because he used to break every model that you'd made.
Yeah, his first attempt to do the tap dancing book, he basically kind of broke the rig.
Which is now.
And then I remember what I also remember about that was he then accidentally deleted all the files off our server and stayed late to redo it all.
That seems like it could be a cut in one of his films.
But He's incredibly talented too.
Yeah, no,
so
he's
quickly.
wicked. Yeah.
It's funny. It's one of the things that's come up in every single one of the interviews. Well, not every single one, but at least when we were down the pub beforehand or after or something, it's been people have mentioned David O'Reilly's name.
What you definitely see in animation is direct, let's say, influence, but let's also just say people ripping you off,
Yeah.
with no original ideas of their own. They're just copying what he's done, and you see that, and that's the sign usually of that you've done something right. You know, if everyone's trying to copy you and be the next you.
Actually, last night I went to go and see her, and
He did the interface.
I stayed to see the credits just so I could see David's name go up.
No, really. Wicked. It's nice to hear that reaching out, you know, to people who inspire you sort of made such a difference, because it's like when I was younger, I would have never have thought to like try and contact like people who I was like, you know.
Well, we always give people time of day. We got asked yesterday how we made our junior senior video.
Did you write to them? Because I wrote to them.
No, I didn't do it. And you know, fucking at this point, still asking how it's done. But we will still answer, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we can't necessarily
And
employ
that is the
you.
one people
No,
always ask
but
about,
it's not.
actually.
It's not
How
even.
did
So,
you do it?
Well, it's because there's so many people trying to do pixelated videos every year, you know,
I'm working
constantly.
on one at the moment.
Have you seen the latest Lily? Oh, can I have another beer, please? The latest Lily Allen video. It is so bad. I almost want to put on Twitter. We made junior senior in what year?
I don't know, 91, 92?
And then this comes out
No,
in
2001.
2001, and this comes out 13 years later, and look at the fucking state of it. It's so bad. It's
I haven't seen
it's
it.
laughably
It's
bad.
the
She's
whole
like on ENI or something. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
Because there have been some good pixelated videos. That Trucker's Delight one was good.
Oh, so good.
And
That's amazing.
even that one for that Future Proof recently was pretty well done. And then who's that guy Robinson who does all the little animated?
Oh yeah.
Is it Robinson?
Look at it in the-
Gibbs?
something.
Did a lot of stuff for
Yeah.
Edgar Wright.
He's incredible, that guy.
You know, there are
It's
people
got
who...
Pilgrim Game.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who are doing it what I would say right.
Yeah.
And it's still pleasurable to look at. Fucking look at Flappy Bird. You know, it's still like, people can't get over pixelated stuff for whatever reason.
So like, as far as I knew, though, you guys were the first guys I came across who were doing lo-fi 3D stuff or lo-fi kind of high-tech stuff. But
It was in the air.
Yeah. But what were the things that you were looking at then?
Well, we were looking at the wireframe in Maya, thinking, can we get away with just using that?
Really?
Yeah. No, because, well, I think in my student film I had some wireframe things, didn't I? And that was
It
from...
just looked cool to us.
Yeah, you know,
It was from the Death
that
Star.
student
Things
thing
like
to deconstruct stuff.
Yeah.
One amazing thing I saw in Dr. Easy actually was the fact that you used the After Effects, what is it, 3D
Tracking markers.
markers.
Yeah, actually in the thing. Why not?
I thought that was
They look really cool, why not?
They do, yeah, it looks great in it. I thought all the like interface design stuff looked really
And we also down-resed it, because we looked at a lot of the way robots are being taught to see in the real world, and it's kind of lo-fi, it's kind of CFAX, because the display is for their own reading, or for the technicians.
Yeah.
Technicians' analysis. At
Whereas-
best. It's
whereas-
definitely not anti-alias, and
Yeah.
it comes out like
Yeah.
detected threat.
I just watched the new RoboCop, and it's full of that, and everything's got a 45-degree angle cut off of
Yeah.
it. Still, like it's all still basing the design on the Designers Republic. It's all got the same aesthetic, and it's all like this. Just the screen is full of just mumbo jumbo, and what we wanted to do was have a slightly more realistic, but still be kind of sexy.
Still totally fantasy.
Yeah, but have a sort of element of like, well,
maybe they
just not do what
approach it
all
like
those
that.
things because they just annoy the tits.
I think it was one of the only successful versions of that, and also the all the sort of extra stuff you did around it, where you were promoting it. You put out some videos.
There's no one in the
I
lab.
don't know how
Yeah.
what do you call that stuff.
Viral marketing.
Viral marketing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was
That was like the most
stimulated by
convincing
film
stuff of that
propaganda.
I've seen in a long
Well, yeah,
time.
somewhere it's funny because there was a journalist for I can't remember, for some newspaper, and he tweeted about it saying, "My God, fucking look at this."
Really?
Oh,
And
seriously?
then I tweeted him and said, "It's not real," and he got really mad with
Really?
me. Yeah, got in an argument with me because he was basically being defensive because he was a journalist and he'd reported something as being fact and it wasn't. You know.
That is amazing.
Is that, was he referencing the site that was built?
Well, we no, well,
Well,
yeah,
we
I
did
mean,
try and make it look real, and he
Yeah,
referenced
yeah.
the video and said, "Look, this is scary where this is going." Well, Kenny was like, "We ain't going nowhere, mate."
but that was, you know, it was mean probably to take the piss out of it.
Yeah,
But
you kind of won with that.
yeah, but that was the whole point of it, and it was such a huge compliment.
And also,
Yeah.
and also, journalists should check what they're writing about. They're journalists.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
you're
you know,
supposed to,
we
like, check
based it
sources
pretty
and
strongly
stuff.
on all those sort of Boston Dynamic things, and so you know, we were trying to pull that trick.
Yeah.
So I mean, in fairness to him, he just fell
Oh,
into our
no, we
hand.
weren't really trying to trick people. We just trying to make something that looked genuine, basically.
Yeah,
Not,
Yeah, and then he was probably the only person out. It hasn't had that many views, a few thousand, but you know, the one person in a few thousand thought it was real.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
And he was a journalist.
Yeah.
He was a journalist, yeah. But I imagine most people that saw it or clicked on the link just went and turned it off.
Boring.
Um,
When's he going to make me a sandwich?
so that and the film Dr. Easy is kind of building towards you lot getting your feature off the ground.
Yeah.
Are you allowed
Yeah.
to talk about any of that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what normally sort of happens with a lot of those things that are comparable, tragically, are the short films that people have made and then they get snapped up by Hollywood to expand it into a feature film.
Mm.
Whereas it's totally the opposite for us. We've already written the first draft
Yeah.
of the feature. Then we took that to Warp and then they took it to Film 4 and they gave us some money to make Dr. Easy to be a taster of what the tone of the feature might be like,
Yeah.
to test us to whether or not we could do it,
Mm.
because even though we've been making stuff for 15 years, there's not so much live action, I suppose, not so much working with actors,
Mm.
and also you're working in a different field. You know, can you make something suspenseful with actors in it and with all these VFX that the movie's going to require,
Mm.
and sort of pass it off on a budget?
Yeah.
And so that was the sort of gauntlet was thrown down in a way. And I think possibly if it had failed, they wouldn't have pursued the project
They
any
would step
further.
away from the project.
yeah. If it had been just a miserable failure.
But it's done really well, right?
Yeah, and they've put money into hiring a writer to help us polish the draft.
It's an amazing film. I really, really liked it.
Mm.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really serious thing. You guys have done quite a few live action things
Well,
recently.
we made a conscious effort to do it.
Yeah.
Did you make? You said before that you stopped doing music videos at a certain point, and then you come back to it.
Well, we stopped making music videos basically because
We
for
were
two
writing
reasons.
that film.
We were writing, trying to teach ourselves to write
Right.
things that were longer than 3 minutes long.
Mm.
You know, we wanted to stretch our legs, you know, and do a film basically. And so we just retired for a bit and started writing and teaching ourselves to write and learning how to tell longer stories.
How long ago was that?
5 years ago.
Longer than that.
Was it? Maybe.
We-
What
we
year is
just-
it?
we just-
2014. It was like 2006.
We'd just done an advert, and so we had a bit of money behind us. So
It
was fine to just take
basically
some time off.
cash. Yeah. Just wrote the script. And looking back at it now, we've learned a lot in that time. We've kind of got into a first draft and sent it out and got, you know, the Dr. Easy thing going. But looking back at the script now, it's pretty creaky.
Right. But I mean, every first draft is, I guess. Isn't it?
Yeah, and it's our first draft of anything ever.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
so it's even creakier still. You know.
I have to say that, like, as much as I, like your 3D music videos and the lo-fi stuff, I think the strongest stuff I've seen for you guys is your live action stuff that you've been doing recently.
Really?
I mean, yeah, everything that I've seen
Well,
has
that's
been
another
very,
thing
very
that
strong.
Yeah, I really like that Coldplay.
Yeah, the
videos.
Yeah, right. I mean, we like that stuff. We're happy with the way
I think
it
it
comes
really
out,
stands
but we
apart
don't.
from
When we were doing the stuff like Queens of the Stone Age and Pyramid Song, we did get a lot of plaudits for it. We got awards for everything. We got lots of interviews. The live action stuff has
Must be shelved.
It feels to us like it's all sinking without a trace.
I think that the thing about live action is there's so many people doing live action.
It's not only that,
same
but
with animation.
But when you're making animation, you can do it in any style, and it's kind of limitless.
Yeah.
And you can pictorially represent anything your imagination can drum up. And when you do live action, you're dealing with photographs and actors and real sets, and budget really comes into play.
But
And
also,
it's all so much more limited. And how then do you make an individual case for yourself as a director?
It's harder to be original in photography than it is in illustration. In illustration, you've got the author's hand right there, the artist's hand right there. You don't really have that in photography. It's much harder to be original in photography.
Well, was that the Trent Reznor side project thing that you're talking about, which is like it's shot in very low light, seemingly?
Well, it's shot in broad daylight, but we graded it to fuck. So.
Okay, I mean I've never seen anything that looked like that before. I mean, I think that you did manage to.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of the halfway house between live action and our animation stuff, isn't it? Because it is graded so heavily, and that's the look.
Right.
It's not like
So
Gondry, who makes a music video which is very plainly shot, but so inventive that it's like blows
It's
you
always
up.
a formal thing or a very theatrical element to his work.
Mm.
But most of the directors who you would say have a very distinctive style, it's a formal thing that they do, or it's a recurring theme that they use. So, say for instance, Wes Anderson, where someone like Wes Anderson, you can very easily do a pastiche of his work because he's got very distinctive traits.
Yeah.
And that's what distinguishes his style from another. But that's the sort of things you're leaning on as a live action director.
And do you find it more challenging than working in live action than you do animation?
No, I don't. I think it's more challenging towards everything, that's for certain.
It's more challenging for the producer, probably.
Well, yeah, back when we were doing a music video for, a fully animated music video, we always used to wonder what the fuck a producer did.
What did that one?
No, well, the people that were repping us would always be, we're giving you this person as a producer, and we'd be sitting there, why the fuck are they getting paid? We don't need them.
Yeah.
Why do these people exist?
Yeah.
When you start doing live action, you suddenly realise.
They play such a crucial part.
Well,
Yeah.
Without them, everything falls apart.
Mm.
So do you find when you've done live action projects that you've been able to rely quite a lot on the crew, or do you feel kind of like?
Well, I mean, Dr. Easy was the first time, if we're honest, where it was brilliant because we had Barry Ackroyd, who's an amazing Oscar-winning DOP, and obviously we had Tom Hollander and Alexander McQueen, and then we recorded with Geraldine James, and all of whom
the first AD was just amazing.
Yeah, all of whom are like incredibly talented, and you just tell them what you want, and you get it.
Yeah.
Whereas previously, particularly in music videos, you're basically you're directing extras a lot of the time, or wannabe actors.
You're actually directing it.
And sometimes you get lucky, and like the How to Destroy Angels job, all those actors. I mean, we had to cast them.
Mm. Yeah.
We did.
You do the casting yourself.
Yeah, and but you're looking for the talent as opposed to they've just got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like with Tom Hollander, we just talked about what it was we were trying to do and what was happening with his character. Blah blah blah, the backstory, and then you just press record and he does it, and you get it in the first take, and it's like, right, okay.
You talk about the character and the story, whereas with the extras you talk about the action they have to do.
Yeah, previously we've been like directing shot dummies. Stand there, look over there. Okay, we get that shot. Stand there, look over there. Okay, we get that shot. If we put the story together ourselves.
And coming from animation, where you can make a film using pegs. That's actually fine.
That's how we were used to work.
And it's a good training ground. And working with actors who can actually act is a revelation because they bring so much more, and you really can't underestimate, their talent. I know, it's not like they're not paid incredibly well, they seem to run the show, but actually it's with good reason, I think. And in fact, when Gravity won the other day at the BAFTAs, did you win, by the way, at the BAFTAs? I thought you said nothing was off limits. Well, he said, I think it was either at the BAFTAs or in an interview later, he said, the thing that sort of made it connect with the audience was Sandra Bullock, and well, that's not 100% true.
No, I think she was rubbish.
But she could have been far worse, and it could have sank it. You can't underestimate how important the face that you're looking at.
Definitely, because that is a B movie script.
Yeah, it is.
Well acted, if you see what I mean.
Gravity?
Yeah.
Gravity is totally a B movie.
But you think it was well acted?
They made a B movie into an amazing movie, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
They made it.
I don't think you
Okay.
can fault her performance. I think what you can fault is the shit that she had to say.
Yeah, that she had to do
About
that
a
terrible
dead-
scene.
about a dead
No
daughter.
one's going to come out of that scene, that crying scene. Well, are they?
Yeah. I just thought like it was just a really wild thought story. But anyway, I don't talk about Gravity.
Yeah.
But
No, come on.
let's just turn it to a movie review.
What was the actual question? Why did we end up talking about acting?
Well,
I
actually,
just
we
wondering
had
how
to
that-
rely on the crew.
Like,
The funny
yeah,
thing,
it's-
we were quite big, or working with big acts before we even had a crew. So we'd done all these videos for Radiohead and whatever, and suddenly we're on set with 20 people working for us in Queens of the Stone Age, and we were just scared shitless. So we had to rely on them because there's like 10 burly men moving a techno crane around.
Yeah, and that's a weird. That's
So
a
did you
weird.
not have a DOP on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a hard.
But going from sitting in your bedroom for years on end, doing everything yourself, to suddenly, most people work their way up on set to that kind of thing. And know all the roles.
Previously we were the cameraman, we were the editor, we were the actors.
We went
In
from
animation.
in an actual, studio environment, we went from 0 to nothing, and just didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
So what was the first live action thing that you guys did? That was the Queen's.
Well, we did lots of live action elements for things. The Queens of the Stone Age basically was a full day.
The first live action thing we did was Steve Mountainous.
We did that consciously to learn.
We made a video for Steve Mountainous and the Jignags for Domino, and we, with the budget, which was minuscule, we spent all of the money buying ourselves a camera and a simple lighting kit and tripod and one of those reflectors that you can't get back in the thing, and some gaffer tape and what have you, and we did it consciously to try out loads of different things. So we did some green screening ourselves. Chris was in it, acting. We were producers because we convinced the Trocadero to let us in to film our student film for free, and we were filmed in a church for free.
Filmed even in the woods in Muswell Hill. We were filming some stuff running around there. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then the park rangers came up to us and go, "What are you doing with the camera?" Because it was like a semi-professional camera. We're like, "Well, we're just students," and then they just left us alone.
And we did it as a sort of crash course thing, right? What are all the things you need? Because it's a harsh lesson to sort of find yourself short of something. And it was,
But also, we needed to, we needed to know what does the cameraman do, what does the soundman do.
Yeah, but I just still didn't feel like.
But no, obviously, there's no way we learn any, 1% of what they actually do. However, we had a slight insight, more than we would have had just sitting at our computers.
or turning up on set on a
Did
proper shoot.
Did you turn up on set and they were sort of saying all these kind of like words that like were
But
common?
that still happens.
Yeah.
But the language, some things go over our heads.
But I mean, everyone you employ is incredibly talented and there to do their job, so it's not actually that difficult because as long as you know what it is you're trying to achieve, then you're fine.
I've had a couple of times where you've had live action directors come into an animation environment, and the fact that they're a live action director has made them much better because they're not focused on the technique, or they're not like, caught up in the way it's done, been done before.
Is that a pointed remark at us?
You guys are live action directors.
I think the thing that's actually quite hard still for us to this day is that when you do a shoot, you've got a very limited amount of time to get it done. And through experience, you're not really sure how much you can get done or what's important.
Yeah.
And whereas in animation, if something's wrong, you redraw it. Or if you're doing it in 3D, you can change the camera position the day before delivery. Still fucking around. On set, you've got to get everything.
The focus is on these 16 hours where you've got everybody together for this shoot.
And in fact, on Dr. Easy, it was a 2-day shoot, and we had this whole bit with this camera crew who were filming the siege. And we cast these 2 young people and gave them a fake camera and some fake coffee cups and a fake flight case and everything. What's that?
The dude wasn't young.
Was he not?
No, he was an old guy.
No, I said he was young. I'm trying to pay, if he's listening, I'm paying him a compliment.
Well,
And now you're saying, now you're dissing him.
I think he was in his 70s.
and we were running out of time to get all the shots, and we had to make a decision there and then. Well, actually, that bit doesn't really add anything. But what you were doing was, you were jumping ahead and thinking, well, that might end up on the cutting room floor in the edit. And so you were having to make that decision, but right there on the set. And so we had to actually just say, just nix those guys. Send them home because we don't have time to film them.
Okay.
And
Oh no, I'm thinking the protesters.
The protesters, yeah.
Sorry.
No, he was
old.
Yeah,
And cranky. Anyway.
We're working with him again.
So coming from an animation background going into live action, do you approach the kind of pre-production in the same way? Like, would you storyboard as?
Yeah.
Well, we sort of have, but I've been trying to make it so that we don't a little bit, because I can often see a storyboard, especially in animation directors who've moved into live action. I can see.
It's true. You can see animation shots.
You can see the shots, and it's really contrived
Right.
and doesn't feel spontaneous. And actually working with
Yeah,
Radiohead
true,
was a
true about
godsend, because he's a documentary. He's got a documentary background,
Right.
and he just knows where to place the camera without, without much direction. He's amazing. And so.
Take it easy, Jason. I'll see you around.
Bye, Jason. Yeah,
Bye.
fuck off, mate.
Need to talk about.
Yeah, we were.
Thanks.
Just ask another question about Jason.
We've lost someone.
Yeah,
we've lost someone.
Well, you can lose me to the toilet for a couple of minutes.
Okay, what were we talking? We're talking about.
Talking about Chris and Jason.
We're talking about
Losing stuff on the cutting room film storyboarding.
storyboard. Yes. So, with a first sort of forays into live action, I sort of consciously sort of stopped us from doing the storyboard frames.
Right. Really?
Because
Like completely, not even.
well, we sort of in the end you
frame.
end up sort of thumbnailing them, and you've got to block out scenes, and you've got to have so for instance with How to Destroy Angels, we had a story to tell, and we knew how fast we had to tell it, and so it's like, well, he's doing this now, and we need to tell it in 3 shots. What are the 3 shots?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to draw them. You just know what they are.
Yeah.
And then if you're working with a really talented DP, isn't it better that you let them compose the shots?
Yeah.
As long as you're explaining to the DP what it is you're trying to say with the shot, he'll say, "We'll do it like this."
Yeah.
And that you've got to learn to sort of loosen up a bit.
Trust people.
Yeah.
What you need to have beforehand is the story sorted out in your head.
Yeah.
What is you're actually trying to say? What the conclusion is? What's going to happen? And where bits need to move fast, slow. I think you've got to have an edit in your mind almost.
Yeah.
But then I think you've got to accept that on set you can film it in a different way. And I've heard that like the Coen brothers, for instance, are one of the sort of few directors who really heavily storyboard their films, but then actually mostly chuck it away on the set. But by storyboarding, what they've done is kind of worked out what the film is.
Yeah.
And I think actually that's to our advantage coming from an animation background, is that I think we can very easily run the film in our heads visually without the aid of storyboards and finding it in the edit. Like just filming loads and loads of stuff and then just trying to assemble something.
Yeah.
We can sort of, okay, this bit goes here. You can plan it all out.
Yeah.
How does it work with 3 directors? Because obviously, like when you're doing animation, I can kind of imagine, and when you're doing animation and you have storyboards, I can kind of imagine how you can
Well, the way
direct with
we've
3 people. But
Yeah, well,
on
the way
set-
we've approached it is that we do all that thinking. I've just been talking about beforehand. So our treatments are just kind of totally on the money in terms of what the finished thing is.
Okay.
They're pretty explicit.
And then you guys all sort of sign
If
off
you
on
read the
that.
treatment for that How to Destroy Angels video, it's not like you're describing the video.
Right.
It's pretty close. There's happy accidents and bits that changed and bits that got added and bits that got taken away, but
Right.
pretty much it's it.
Mm.
And we spend a long time working that stuff out. So the shoot day is then about getting it, getting that story that we have all agreed upon down the lens. And that to me is the only way to sort of tackle it. And then at that
so
point,
you call who shouts action and who shouts cut?
usually because I'm, if you can't already tell, I'm the most gobby one,
Right.
or the least socially inept.
Yeah, we'll go with the first time.
And so I'll deal with the business up front, like with the actors and the DP and same cut, and working usually pretty closely with the first AD.
These guys go have a beer with the
But these guys actually sit behind the monitor
right. Okay.
and are looking at they have that veil of the monitor between them. And actually, I can't do that very well, if I'm honest. I can't look at the monitor and tell if what we've got is any good.
Right.
It's lucky, really, because I can't do the other thing. So we're incredibly lucky to be working together in that way.
Because I look at the screen and I'm just like, oh,
Right.
that's nice.
Yeah.
And I can't tell, and I look at Jason and he's like frowning.
Right.
And I'll say, well, what was wrong with that?
Right.
And he'll say, oh, they didn't say that word right, or,
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, right, I get it now. We're not. I
So
think
you're the one who talks to the actors and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Okay. Cool.
I've got a very logical, organised mind. I'm somewhere between a director and a first AD.
Right.
I think.
In terms of the way you interact with actors, or just
Knowing what's the best order to shoot things,
Okay.
and holding the continuity in my head, and
okay.
holding the whole story in my head.
Mm.
But I'm totally sort of snowblind.
Right.
I can't look at the monitor, and I can't. I think adrenaline sort of gets the better of me. So it's good that these guys then sort of sit and they're like, or sometimes even in a different room. In fact, when we filmed Tom, you guys were in a different room, and you were watching it on the TV, almost like it was being broadcast.
That's kind of. I imagine that is a completely different way of experiencing.
Well, it is,
It's probably like much more like how the final thing is.
Of course, yeah. But I'm
we
actually stood just off camera.
can't imagine directors working on their own and being able to
Do both those things.
do both those things.
Well, I think normally
So,
probably my job is redundant, and the first AD does a lot of that.
I don't know though. I mean, only from what I read. Oh shit! What book was it? It was the guy that directed Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, okay.
Directing. It was on directing, I think.
Yeah.
And he said that the most important thing is being up close with the actors.
Right.
And what he captures is or how it looks, and the things that me and Jason sit there looking at. He said they're always of a secondary importance, and everyone has their own values or whatever
Yeah.
they're directing, because what's his name said act as a cattle.
Oh, Hitchcock.
Hitchcock, which we sort of went into it thinking, because we were animators and we made them do what we want, and came out of it thinking the exact opposite.
Right.
And you actually have to completely rely on them.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, isn't it? You're the director, you're the only person on set actually who's got the whole film in their head and who gives two shits about it actually. And wholly.
Yeah.
And you're the person who's going to be working on the longest
Mm.
and who's going to put so much more time into it.
Well, I just think
and
if
half
you-
the time people don't really know where this scene plays chronologically,
Yeah.
or even this shot, and it's your job to
Yeah,
make sure
to know
everyone
how-
else understands what it is you're trying to do.
You've got to know how it butts up to the scene before and after
Yeah.
to really know how to play it. But
Was that kind of difficult, kind of doing stuff in... I suppose it's the same in animation, you don't necessarily animate.
It's just storytelling.
Yeah.
So if you can learn it in any medium, you've learned it.
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to ask about was I remember talking to you, Kenny, about the fact that when you guys decided to do a feature film, you decided to do it as live action rather than animation, and you thought that was because animation couldn't necessarily hold, the same sort of emotional content.
Yeah, that wasn't quite how it happened. You know, the film that we're trying to make, The Red Men.
You go if you want. I've had 3 already.
The film that we're trying to make, The Red Men, is kind of, you know, we've never seen it as anything but live action.
Right.
It was more the point that for a long time we toyed with the idea of making an animated film, and we're still thinking about it.
Well, it happened, definitely.
But
Animated feature.
yeah, animated feature.
Right.
And specifically what we were looking at was how can we make an animated feature for adults, not for children. Obviously they work for children, box office gold, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got kids myself and I watch footloads of them, and they totally work. And it's making them work for adults is a sticking point. And we spent a long time thinking about that and thinking about what the sort of story could be and what style it could be, because, you know, it can be any sort of style.
Yeah.
What would work and what's holding people back from watching those things. And we just went into a cul-de-sac of thinking about what animation can and can't do, in our opinion, and what we do and don't like about animation. I think we overanalyzed it, but I think we sort of concluded it was almost like an impossible challenge.
Well, I think what we set ourselves to do was impossible.
Yeah.
You know, if you take away some of the
Which was what?
You know, stipulations, like, you know, it had to be for adults.
Right.
Like, absolutely not for children. Not something that children could watch as well, like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It absolutely had to be for adults, and it had to really have emotional impact. You know, these kinds of things that we did.
There's a lot of things we hate about animation, which is too long to go into now, but so all those avenues were cut off as well.
But was you looking at all at like the way animation's done in Japan? Because they
Well,
make
Japan's different. The culture is so different. You know, I was just watching yesterday this thing, Attack on Titan. Have you seen that?
No.
I mean, that is absolutely not for kids, because it's a weird medieval village with a giant wall around it, and then outside of that there's these giants, but they're just like weird giant humans, and they break in and just bite people's heads off. And it's the most gruesome
This is
thing.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I showed that to my 4-year-old, he'd shit his pants. You know, they're
Yeah.
nightmares. So he couldn't watch it. But on top of that, I don't think many adults would want to watch it in our culture, because they just wouldn't be interested. It looks like a cartoon,
it's kind of
and they dismiss it as a
Yeah,
cartoon.
that's the first argument. But there's Akira. But the number of people who've seen Akira in the UK is fucking slim.
Yeah, especially the whole.
And, you know, because loads of people read comics in Japan, but they don't here either. You know, it's a minority interest.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you know, making a film is expensive, and really making feature films is truly where art meets commerce.
Yeah.
Because they cost a lot of money to make, cost a lot of money to distribute, and to promote and everything else. And as we're finding, even with our live action thing, what the amount of money you can get for your project is based on how much money they think they'll make back.
Yeah.
It's common sense. It's business.
Yeah.
And so, an animated movie is never going to be that cheap to make either. Even if you don't do it the Disney way, you know, I'm sure you could do it a lot cheaper here. I'm sure Fantastic Mr. Fox, say, for instance, was a lot cheaper than Pixar. But how do you make back that money? How do you get that number of bums on seats to watch that film?
Yeah.
I just don't think you can with an adult audience. And there's been a few films that have attempted it. The ones you worked on, The Illusionist and Triplets to Belleville, and there's Persepolis and Waltz with Bashir.
Persepolis did okay.
It did okay.
Yeah.
That's what you ever get.
That's the best you can hope. They're the most successful films we're talking about there. And all of them did okay.
Yeah.
Didn't do well.
No.
And there was what was that black and white one called? Shit, I thought.
Oh, the French
The cell
one.
shaded one,
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
It was horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't help it was shit, but I just don't think for the general audience out there of cinema goers, that's not what they're looking for.
No, you can see that
And
next to X-Men and you're not going to stand a chance.
It would take exceptional circumstances or very good luck for you to completely convert people's attitudes globally.
I think
With
it's
one
But
project.
I think that can be said for a lot of art films that, probably cost £1 million or something. It doesn't mean those films shouldn't be done.
No, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done, but I don't think you can make an animated film for £1 million, or it would take you so long
Yeah.
to do it for £1 million.
Yeah, I think you need 10 times that to even do something at the base level.
I think it's like
I reckon you could probably do an animated film for a couple of £1 million.
Well, I mean, so this is where the argument went to, and we were thinking, well, why don't we make something with David Shrigley along the lines of Good Son?
Yeah.
It's just a piece of piss to animate.
Mm.
You could easily make 90 minutes of that. But then, I think people's acceptance of watching that on screen,
Yeah.
and then once you're drawing things, and I mean this is no disregard to David's work at all, because I think he's amazing, but you're drawing all these figures in a cack-handed way with screwy faces and stuff. It really limits shots, the story you can tell, the sort of narrative.
involvement you can have emotionally.
Yeah.
Whether you can sympathise with any of these people.
And I think a lot of people would find it actually hard to watch that for 90 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Not you or I,
No.
who've got a vested
I think
interest
I
in
probably
animation.
would.
Oh,
really,
yeah.
like, no, I definitely watch things which are long
And that's
and
the
simple.
nail in the coffin really was that the French film,
The Town Called Panic.
Town Called Panic.
Yeah.
Because there was a really good example of them making something relatively easy and cheaply.
They did those
And they were
adverts.
fantastic in short form, but when you
Yeah,
saw them,
it
you
did-
saw
you
them
saw the
Yeah, so
adverts
there, I
they
can
did
watch
for
it.
Milk.
I can watch
They
it.
were great. Great
But did
30
was
second
it the
adverts.
same directors who did
Yeah.
those? I always thought they got ripped off.
Pick and Andrea, yeah, they did.
Yeah, you saw those on TV in an ad break, you're like, fuck yeah, this is so different, it's so great, really
Especially
fun.
from Liquid TV.
Yeah, and then you watched it for more than 20 minutes and you're like, somebody shoot me.
But then the Lego films has come out, and apparently that is great. And
It is great. It's for
Yeah.
kids, yeah, I've seen it.
But then you're so limited in their movement and expression. And stuff.
It's more limited than Town Called Panic.
Yeah, but in that
It's less
film, you're
limited.
telling a kid's story, and it's an adventure story, and it's daft.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You
But you
can't.
could you sit through it easily though?
I can sit through that easily, yeah, because of the story. But you couldn't tell the white ribbon
Right.
with Lego figures. It
Yeah.
would not work.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. It wouldn't be the same.
That would be wicked though. Someone tried to do it.
I'm sure it's already on YouTube, but it's not the same thing. It
No.
won't work. And why doesn't it work?
Mm.
Because you don't think of animated characters in the same way.
Mm.
It's not real. You've always got this in your subconscious.
I think that is just a cultural thing though.
Yeah, it is.
I think
But
it's.
that, you can't...
Still a thing.
It's a
That's
very
a huge,
What we-
huge
yeah.
psychological thing.
What we
You can't change
eventually
it.
concluded, it was a massive uphill struggle to do the thing we wanted
Mm.
and then make everyone agree that we were right.
I think it's like
That was
you
basically
can,
ourselves.
you can
That's
you
kind of what it comes down to, basically, with like doing anything which is a bit weird and different from the norm. It's like just
Yeah.
trying to make your case almost. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
not
we've
to
been doing
say-
our entire career.
We were, it's
But
not to
money's
say
not
we
gonna
weren't
stay
I
to
honestly
it.
think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you guys.
Well,
Well,
that's
thank
very
you.
flattering. Thank you.
I think David O'Reilly will have a go before us.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I
But
think he's already. I think he's
you
already
can
trying.
contribute to the shift. You know what I mean? Like you might not be the guy who does it, but I think David O'Reilly doesn't make his stuff and people were entertained by it.
Totally.
Yeah,
I think like there's a
he'll
lot-
pull it off because he's got clever ways of making things.
yeah.
He'll make something that lasts 100 minutes.
He's very much more in tune with
Yeah,
the internet
man.
than us.
External worlds, like when I saw it was 17 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna sit through this. And
Yeah.
I like his stuff. And then when I started watching it, 17 minutes went like
Yeah.
that. It was like incredible. And that's not like a big long
I
narrative.
completely agree.
Yeah.
But if you count all the people who will put their hands up and say that,
Yeah.
and no offence to David either,
No.
it's
I don't
a
think-
minority interest.
I don't think he's going
Really?
for the populist vote, really.
No.
No.
He's,
but
he's
it's,
actively against it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
You can recognise.
debate-
My point is, you can recognise a shift. There's like Adult Swim, which is like doing really well.
Yeah, and actually the things I missed out for my argument were South Park movie,
Yeah.
and my favourite of all of them, which is not really animation, but let's, for the sake of argument, say it is Team America.
Oh yeah.
And I think
It's
Team America
comedy.
is the most
Yeah.
successful.
If you
But-
do comedy, you can get away with
But
it.
it's
we want it to
comedy,
be
and it's
drama.
daft, and it's silly.
Yeah. No, I
Even
agree.
if it has like a,
I think the comedy would
point
be the
in it.
first way into that. Like I think off the back of like Ted being so successful, I think that DreamWorks. I heard that DreamWorks or something. could
Well,
develop
there's
in,
something definitely
adult-
strange happening in terms of what you consider animation versus what you consider VFX.
Yeah.
It's getting very blurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like if you go see a film that's mostly VFX, are you actually watching animation?
Yeah.
Yes, you are technically.
Yeah, like Avatar or whatever.
Yeah, that's an animated
Yeah,
film.
it's
by
like
looks, is it not?
80%.
But it's that's a can of worms, isn't it? Because you got
Tintin.
what's his name
Yeah.
saying it's all his performance, and then the animators saying, well, we had to monkey with it so much.
Yeah.
No, I've spoken to people and they've just been like, yeah, we just reanimated all of it.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, who's going, I need an Oscar because I played a monkey in such and such.
No, he's got a Vimeo account and he's got like a little like a showreel thing where he sort of like shows his performance to what the final thing is.
Yeah.
The thing I always think about him is, and no offense, Andy, if you're listening, but he's
I'm pretty sure.
that was a joke. It's straight as I could, but that was a joke. I don't think anyone's listening. Is that I think he's a terrible overactor.
Yeah, that's his only problem. He's not getting Oscars.
I'm gonna make sure he hears his
I think,
podcast.
now, so if you see him in a live action role,
Yeah,
so he's in King Kong,
yeah.
and he overacts even versus Jack Black. He's that off the chart. And I think the technology for motion capture
Yeah,
is unsubtle.
yeah,
And
And
I think
generally-
his overacting plus an unsubtle conduit
yeah.
makes a pretty good bit of motion capture.
To reference.
And if the technology gets
Smooths it all
good,
out.
his bad acting will just actually be on screen.
Right,
But for
yeah.
the time being, he's fucking monkeying around. See what I did?
Yeah.
He's monkeying around, and he's actually perfect for those roles.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
would say his time's up.
Well, especially
If
if
you're
it only
listening,
ends
your
up
time's
with
up.
reference for animators who basically do the performance.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Animators tend to be terrible.
as I
overactors
said,
too.
it's a can of
Well, that's
worms.
the
But
thing
it's
that, I
ought to
mean,
be.
like, especially 2D animation. I think that, like recently, I remember watching The Incredibles and thinking, like, that was proper kind of like quite subtle. There were some subtle bits in it.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I think you pretty much kind of had to like push things quite far to get the point across. With 2D animation, I mean, the width of a pencil makes the difference. You know,
Yeah.
like the understanding of like the sort of, you didn't really have eye dance before 3D
No.
animation, did you? Like those kind
No,
of
I
very
remember
subtle
Pixar really
reads
first
that you
did
get.
that, and then everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fucking hell, come on.
The thing
But
is,
that's how people's eyes move.
Yeah, it is.
But when if we were filming Tom Holland and he started doing that, I'd be like, dude, what?
Yeah, but that's because it's live action and you don't need that same kind of magnification.
This difference is exactly what we're talking about. That's fake, crappy acting that those
But-
toys are doing to
but-
make up for the fact that you're looking at them thinking they're CGI the whole time. It's subconsciously.
But I think even in like, you know, you were saying in Incredibles you saw some subtle performances or whatever, but like in that, like Brad Bird was just drawing all over like their I think they even developed a thing where he could just draw straight over.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
extend
this.
the
I
silhouettes.
actually
and
think
exactly
a lot of the subtlety of the animation in The Incredibles is actually the characters are having complicated emotions and
Yeah,
scenes, and then all they've got to do is look into the middle distance, and shit's going on inside their heads. And
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
and
It's
then
like
it's under animating, but you've set up the framework for them to have a personality, and that's what's missing from most writing for kids animated films. The Lego Movie is brilliant, but it's just fucking stupid. It's just daft. It's just fireworks, you know.
yeah,
There's none of that.
yeah,
There's no emotions in it at all.
right, and that's kind of
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's not that sort of film.
So for, like based on all of that, you've
But
decided.
like, in comparison, Mr. Incredible has got pangs of like wanting to go back to his previous life.
Yeah.
He feels guilty that he's going out and
Yeah.
not telling his wife. We're talking about emotions that humans have.
Well, that we're feeling now. Like,
Whereas the characters in the Lego
he's
movie.
looking at his phone.
Yeah, well, it's about to get text messages. Yeah, but I think are we to get back on track?
Yeah.
So we've rambled on and on
Versus
about
marathon.
4 meters down.
yeah, we've rambled on and on about why we didn't pursue an animated film, and I think really we will.
I'd
I
really
think
like to
Jason's-
make a kids film.
Yeah, Kenny and I'd love to do that. Jason's kind of against it, but I think if we could do a kids film that was initiated, not a project brought to us,
Yeah.
then we feel like we could do something good.
I thought
Animation.
Fantastic Mr. Fox was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's just, it was done in a different style, but not only that, it was a different style of storytelling with different types of characters and a different type of narrative. Everything about it was so good. In fact, we were discussing before that film came out how we hated, for instance, that in animated films people are recorded in the booth, stood upright,
Yeah, that's right.
and often not even with the other actors that they're appearing in the scene. And what Wes Anderson did, which is what we were planning on doing, was that he would get the actors not only together, but like if you're reaching over to pick up these keys, your voice does that as you pick it up.
Yeah.
You need the person to pick up the fucking keys then, don't you? You can't just, they'll just stand in the booth and say, I'm picking up the keys.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So what we were planning, we were talking about, okay, we would get all the actors in a room, a bit more like how they did Avatar, and would actually stage the whole film as a sort of theatre production in a way. So everyone had to act out what they were doing. I think they did a lot of that on Rango as well.
Yeah.
Rango I thought was a really good film.
Rango I thought was really good, but I thought it, and what was notable about that and Brad Bird's stuff is you can tell directors who can actually put shots together.
Yeah.
He was actually using shots really well, and the what's it called, the bit where they go down the canyon, what's the music they play? Flight.
Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That whole sequence is clearly put together by someone who can edit together a live action sequence.
Yeah.
Much as that was, I didn't really like Avatar, if I'm honest, but what I thought was remarkable about Avatar was that he put the camera where he would put the camera if he was shooting it live action.
Yeah.
And didn't go fucking Peter Jackson all over it, like fly through an Ivan Eagle. I hate that.
Yeah.
He directed it, and that subconsciously sort of made everything seem more real.
Yeah.
You know, with the exception of the flying stuff. But even then,
But
I
that's
think he
handled
was conscious of aerodynamics, and he's a smart guy.
Have you seen that they're developed? I mean, it's been developed, but I think I've seen it used on that Pixar film. Is it the Red Umbrella or the Blue Umbrella? And they have a 3D camera hooked up to essentially like a rig of a camera, and you can kind of move it around, and it's like a virtual reality.
What in the real world?
You move it
a
around.
physical thing that you can make.
That's what they did for that Umbrella film.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That didn't show.
Oh, don't you think?
Not in that one.
I thought like the camera moves in that were like really.
The rendering in that was just
Yeah.
off the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I was just like...
Because I was actually more impressed by that than Monsters University that came afterwards.
Yeah, both of them didn't really sort of.
They
Doing
usually use
anything, but-
those shorts as a testing ground for.
They do,
Yeah,
yes,
like,
and it's
so
usually
kind of-
self-evident.
I think that's what they've done. Yeah. But I think that like the Lego Movie rendering looked pretty.
Yeah, I saw like a making of that the other day, and they said, so
Yeah.
we make we block in the animation, and you saw some sort of play blast, and then it goes to render, and then it just showed the finished film, and it was like, it was so different.
Yeah.
It was so
in
random.
It's like it's like those how to draw Disney books.
That's
Draw
right.
a circle for that.
Just like about 2 eyes, and there you go, shit.
Yeah.
What? Where was it?
They did some clever things with that though, where they think they actually built physically in 3D. They built the cranes, and they kind of like rigged up cameras, so they were actual
really?
kind of.
That's nice.
So it would move in the way that things.
The Lego
actually
Movie.
for the as far as I understood, yeah. I may be
Yeah,
wrong
I mean,
about that.
there's some panoramic shots of the city that are just breathtaking in their sort of scope and detail. It's just fucking mind-boggling. It's a metropolis of Lego, but the camera moves feel. Now you've said that, sort of feel like maybe they're going over a model set.
Right.
But I think that's what
I
they
think
wanted to do.
They wanted it to.
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's not criticism. I'm saying actually
Yeah.
maybe thinking about it now, that was the
Yeah.
intention. That it makes it feel like it's physically there,
Yeah.
and not because if you can if you do the Peter Jackson thing where you skim along the ground next to
Yeah.
the studs,
Yeah.
and then through the fucking Lego man's little claw, it's just like
Yeah.
instantly it's not real.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the people in 3D are kind of exploring these different things. Like
Those limitations are all going to become academic in about 20 years, though, because everyone's going to be able to shoot everything however they want, right?
It's true,
Not if they go to 48 frames a second, everything 3D. They're constantly start pushing
Some
it.
of the shots that start to come out because people can put a camera on those roto whatever, the radio controlled flying copters.
Oh yeah,
The shots they get with those are now what you would have considered only possible in CG
Yeah.
5 years ago.
mm.
So you start to see live action stuff. And it was always a big thing for us. If you're doing CG, don't do something you can't do with the camera.
yeah,
Don't stick the camera in the wall.
yeah.
But don't fly the camera down the street where you couldn't get it. But
At
you
a
can-
speed that's impossible as well.
Now, now you can do not the speed, but you can fly a camera, and the cameras are small and light enough, and the quality's high enough, and the radio control and everything's.
All that crystallised for me when I saw a featurette on them making I'm Legend.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a shot, still haven't seen the film because this turned me off. And I think there's a shot where he's driving his car. Have you seen it? He's
I've
driving
seen
his
it, I
car
don't remember.
down, whatever it is, down to Times Square. And the camera is above all the buildings, looking straight down. It's perfectly framed, square on Wes Anderson shot, looking fucking straight down. And what they did was it's all bloody CG and everything's overgrown, right? Because it's the apocalypse. But the camera is not only doing an impossible, it's moving at a rate that's impossible. It's not it's got no shake on it or anything like that. It's impossibly square. The shot's just too perfect and impossible in every regard. And I look at it and just think, well, that looks like it's from a computer game.
Yeah.
Not, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
I just think, I know how they did that.
Yeah.
It's common knowledge.
Yeah.
CGI happens now. And so I didn't sort of think, oh wow. And, any of the emotions that the filmmakers probably hoped you would think, like, oh god, what's happened to New York?
Yeah.
Oh god, look, it's all overgrown. I wasn't thinking that, I was just thinking, bullshit.
I think that's kind of like it's kind of all these kind of new techniques because they will be so common and because you can now fly. Like I was looking at drone like quadcopters for like GoPros yesterday, and like they are a bit expensive.
You actually do any work?
I'm not working on it. I'm unemployed. So I'm
I
allowed
was
to do that.
googling this. I was doing that.
No different to us.
Actually,
But it's on the beach.
this was in the evening after I wasn't working. I finished my day of not working. But they're like pretty affordable. Like they're not like cheap, but like considering like 10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. I think because all this stuff is out there and you can kind of do it now, it just means that there's going to be people. I think there's going to be people making more bad work, and so that people who use it correctly will stand out.
I don't want to sound like a complete Nazi about it, because once upon a time you couldn't even record sound.
Yeah.
You couldn't move the camera.
Yeah.
Because there was heavy. So you had all these locked off shots with recorded without sound.
Yeah.
And everything was based on the theatre. And cinema language was born. And it's like any language; it's constantly evolving and changing. But I'm just talking about the fact that they're trying to pass off reality, spend all this time rendering stuff to make it look real, but then do these sort of stupid mistakes that tell you it's not real. And it's just common sense. And someone like James Cameron actually, sassy enough to realise that and not do it.
Sassy.
He's sassy.
He's so sassy.
Sassy
motherfucker.
He's not as sassy as the blue aliens.
That might be a good point to wrap things up.
How's that a good point to wrap it up? James Cameron is sassy.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's a funny point. Well, we've just been getting pretty serious about cinema, and it's like James Cameron's sassy
Right,
at the end.
If you're listening, James.
You're sassy. Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.